Hi, it's me, Renee Urbanovich. Welcome. Are you ready to sing? Today I'm going to do a voice teacher reacts on voice teachers. I'm hoping to demystify some of the concepts that people throw around, these terms that sometimes make no sense and sometimes scare people away that are ready to sing, but all of this talk about vocal training and technique and breath and all of the components get confusing. So I'm going to try and help you navigate as you learn how to sing through YouTube, which is a great place to start. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to this guy. He was the first person that came up. His name is Ramsey, and he's doing a great job, and he's the first guy that came up for voice training online. So here we go. I'm going to start commentating on some of the confusing things that come out of these voice teachers' mouths, even though he has a beautiful setup, he's a beautiful person, he's a good teacher, but some of the terms that voice teachers use tend to confuse us. So we're going to start with right here. Exercise number 2, the diaphragmatic breath. What does he have to say? Go.
We teach the diaphragmatic breath, or singing from the diaphragm. Here's how you do it. In order to find the diaphragmatic breath, first, place your hands around the bottom of your stomach.
I'm already going to stop it. Did you hear that? Oh, diaphragmatic breath. Wait, I'm going to sing through the diaphragm. Now, if you're like me, when I was 14 and 15 and had voice teachers coming to our school and standing up and doing all these weird exercises with us and not explaining what's really going on, the term singing through your diaphragm made zero sense to me. I think of singing through a lens, or like you see through a lens. How do you sing through the diaphragm? Especially when the diaphragm is down here and the vocal cords live here. So that doesn't make sense. I'm singing through my throat. Here's my throat. Here's my larynx. The vocal cords live here. What do you mean I'm singing through my diaphragm? Okay, I've made my point. It's just a term that's been tossed around a lot. And honestly, you don't need to even think about the diaphragm. It is completely involuntary. And it works for you when you're sound asleep. That diaphragm is your friend. There is no reason to think about it. So to me, any attention brought to the diaphragm is absolutely unnecessary. Okay, so here he goes on.
Now inhale, but inhale so that your shoulders and your chest don't rise up, but instead the inhale actually allows the stomach to expand or extend, and that will push the hands out. Now keep.
Another unnecessary job for you. It's not wrong. It's just not necessary to teach this idea. You don't have to think about your stomach expanding. If you just take a breath, it will do what it's going to do. And it's been doing that since you were born. So I like that there's an arrow going down to make you think of not raising your shoulders and not tanking up and getting all high up in the neck area with your breath. No need to do that. So we're looking at breath now. We're done with that idea of the diaphragm. We're done with that. But when you breathe in, your belly might go out, but also, you know what else goes out? Your rib cage and your back. Nobody gives them all the attention the diaphragm gets. I don't know why. The diaphragm, just everybody wants to give it so much attention. So I have a little something to show you. Okay, this is me 25 years ago trying to explain this. And I haven't changed my mind so much, but I have changed the way I teach it a teeny bit. But listen, this is how I used to address and still do for the most part. And, you know, I look at the Ramsey and I think he's got a great setup. He's so nice and young. I was probably teaching 10 years before he even was born. And so here I am 25 years ago. This was before video was a thing. And I made a little DVD on how to sing. It was actually a VHS, right? So here you go. Listen carefully. And my voice sounds a little different because I'm young.
Put your hands right here on your lower waist and go, huh, huh, like you're whining. Or go ahead and cough. Some people think that they're using their diaphragm which, yes, you are. Your diaphragm is a muscle that cuts you in half. And I call it a trampoline because it's exactly like a trampoline. The energy starts from the very middle and goes all the way out to the sides. And it feels, if you press on it, exactly like the material that a trampoline is made of. It gives you a lot of strength to push out the very, very last bit of air that you have. Now, if you don't believe me, go ahead and put your hand on your back and on your front and cough. You can feel it all the way back here, all the way around here. It's very circular, exactly like the inner tube.
Real quick, you see how on these Voice Teacher Reacts videos, I don't just react to the singer. I explain what they're doing and how they're doing it. And that's because at one time I was doing it wrong and I was injured. I developed nodules on my vocal cords and I had to learn how to do it right. So I became a teacher. I've been teaching for over 40 years and I've taught thousands of students. You will not become a better singer just by practicing wrong. That just reinforces all your bad habits. That's why I developed the magic method. It's for any singer who wants to sound better and feel better. It's a comprehensive 5-module course. It explains everything and gives you a method to get better immediately. This will change your life. Check out the link in the description. Now let's get back to the video. So I used to call it intertubal breathing because I didn't want to argue with all the legit kind of bel canto teachers that taught diaphragmatic breathing. So I believed it to be like an accordion. And this was before yoga was big. I just believed in an accordion breath because your rib cage goes out and then it comes, your rib cage goes out and then it comes back in, out and then back in. And it reminded me of an accordion. And yet I didn't want to argue with everybody because there was some debate. So I made up intertubal breathing because an inner tube goes all the way around you when you're going to swim. And imagining that was more helpful as a teacher than people thinking they have to blow up their diaphragm and then pull it back in. And I know that those things are natural, but I don't like to draw attention to those. And it seems like every other teacher does, and I don't know why. There's no need. And because my success rate with my students is so high, I do believe we don't need to be confused about things that we don't need to focus on because they're natural. We were born with them. And you got to love that. Okay, so we're still on breath. And I just reminded everybody that the diaphragm, it's part of it, but it doesn't have to be the focal point. And then I named it intertubal breathing. Moving on.
So you have muscles going down here, and these are your crying muscles, your whining muscles. You've been using these muscles your whole life. From the moment you came out of the womb, you've been using these muscles. Have you ever seen a baby cry? They take their air in so efficiently, and then they use this whole muscle structure, and my goal is to go back and do it exactly the way a baby does it. You can see that the expansion is through the middle of the abdomen. It's going out like an accordion, and then back, and then pressing down.
Now we're going to look at breathing from another woman that came up on my YouTube search for breathing. And her name is Victoria. And I think she's been around a while. I have a confession to make. I've never watched a Voice Teacher Reacts. So I just heard about them and I thought, oh, I would love to do that. So I've really never watched one. And so I have really never watched any voice teachers on YouTube either. So I'm kind of new to this whole YouTube thing. I've been really busy teaching. So I didn't ever have a lot of time to do all the YouTube stuff that some people do. And I am falling in love with YouTube. There's a plethora of information, but it is confusing. So anyway, that's my confession to you. So this lady is Victoria, and I've seen her around on YouTube, but I've never watched her. So let's see what she has to say.
Still having trouble taking a low breath for singing? Here is another one of my #1 exercises that works every time. Every single time. I want you to stand up, have one hand on your abs and the other hand in the small of the back. And you're going to bend over.
Wait, at least you didn't say diaphragm, right? At least you meant just the front of your body, your abs. She didn't even bring up the diaphragm. I like her already. And her voice is strong. And she said, and on your back. Wait a minute. Who does that remind you of? 35-year-old Renee. Okay, let's listen.
45 degrees at the hip sockets like this. Now, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You should feel the expansion all the way around, front, sides, and back. One more time. Inhale.
Okay, front, sides, and back, like an intertube. I love it. I love it. So that information is kind of out there. I like this exercise. I like her arrows, and I like her graphics. Good for her. Good for Victoria. She's passionate, too.
Inhale, exhale. Then you apply that to singing, coming up little by little until you're able to sing and feel this freedom and expansion.
Oh, good word, good word. Freedom and expansion. There's plenty of air to go around. You don't have to ration your intake of breath, which is a beautiful thought that there's plenty of it, which made me think of the word expansion. And of course, we want everyone to be relaxed as voice teachers. But if your breath doesn't relax you, I don't know what does. That's your inspiration. It's beautiful. It's a great thing. And that's why singing is so healthy, because of the long, beautiful, low, deep breaths that yoga people do. And then the vibration as you expel the air and you release the air, whether it's a vibrational sound, a song, or if it's just a breath exercise, so that you are released from choking or tightening up. And when you do release that vibration, if you can think of something very exciting and spiritual like this, you release that vibration from your body, from your soul, and it goes up into the atmosphere and it never stops. So it's such a beautiful experience to be able to breathe and think in these terms instead of what's my belly doing? Is my diaphragm da 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 da? Like, just think in an expansive fashion and trust your body. Your body knows how to breathe and take in the air. So basically, don't get hung up on the diaphragm. I hope that clarified some things. It kind of was fun doing a Voice Teacher Reacts on voice teachers, and I may do it again. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.